Hey, how you guys going? Can you hear me all right?
We hear you great. I do.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Hey, HandyCon Black 2025. Give us some hands, give us some thumbs up. Hope everyone had a coffee, had a drink, getting ready for the second half of the day, right?
That's right. That's right. Absolutely.
Awesome, man. I attended last year, but I always love going to all the events because you guys are so well organized, man. Ann does a great job. You guys do a great job with the hosts, like so interactive. This is such a cool format. So I keep saying to everybody, like, hey, Handshake's one of the coolest communities, one of the most active and passionate communities in Web3. So thanks for having me, guys. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, man.
Yeah. So we're all here for some of the same reasons, right? Handshake absolutely stands for censorship resistance and getting away from these these centralized deep-seated systems we all kind of operate in, right? So we've heard from some amazing speakers who are builders and visionaries looking at the world and what it could be like if we elevate ourselves together from the current big data overlords that we have and all the big corps. So I'm privileged today to be part of the event and supporting all of you and being amongst all the great people and supporting that vision, which I feel is also deep-seated in Masq as well. So we'll tell you a little bit about Masq today, show you the demo. We'll actually be showing you something that has never been publicly demoed before, which is our next flagship app, which bring privacy right into your daily browser from the Masq network with on-roads, hopefully, into Handshake as well, which we've done in our actual Masq browser. But Masq is built on censorship resistance from day one. It's part of our core vision, including the network protocol itself, which is open source. I'll drop some links later, but all of that we've started building from public, and that's up into our browser and our extension app, which we're releasing. But some of you who attended last year, you might remember I started off by dropping a few names of companies we've all probably used or currently use or want to get away from, maybe. Google, Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, Meta, ICANN, GoDaddy. Now, who here feels good about using these products and platforms today? Drop some comments. If anyone feels good, feels safe, feels cared for with these corporations. I don't see a lot of comments. And the reason is we all have that shared feeling, right? We aren't as comfortable, especially after a year since the last time I asked this at the last HandyCon. We know that it's not privacy preserving. We know that there's censorship going on. We know that it's centralized. We know even now, more than ever, that in this age of AI, all of our private data is being monetized, harvested, and we are the product, right? So we all want to get away from that. So that's why we're building. That's why Handshake exists. That's why Masq exists. That's why all these builders here exist, because we know we can build a better system. So I love what Bo was. Decentralized systems will win eventually. It takes time. It's a hard road to walk, but that's what the road we're on, right? I love that gift, Michael. You may not like it, but accept it. And eventually they all will, right? But we do have to build these better systems together. So we'll try and blackpill as many people as we can. When you talk to people, tell them about the alternatives that we've all built, but especially Handshake. You built a whole new namespace built on a blockchain. That's amazing. And I just love to see it continue to proliferate around the world with use cases. So while I get started in this demo, I'm going to try and share this Masq browser on the screen. Just a little tidbit of history too about Masq, just so you guys and girls know sort of what we're about and where we've come from. So here's our little browser that we've built. This is our 5th year in existence. Over 5 years now we've been building. We never did an ICO or public raise, and we haven't got any VC or angels. How we're still alive is a miracle in some ways. Those who are in our community know very well the challenges that we face, but that we have accomplished things and worked through. So this browser you're seeing on the screen, we built with a lot of love, passion, energy, and again, just from the community up. And we've done a community first. I feel like that's how we're all going to win in this space, with doing a community first, which is pretty much defining decentralization, right? We all own a part of the system. We all build a part of the system. We're all part of the system ourselves. So I'm really proud that now more than ever, this browser here and the extension I'm going to demo as well, we've got the most tech in the most advancements ever in our history of 5 years. We're on the cusp of mainnet, and we've built a lot of this to integrate into things like Handshake. We were one of the early adopters of Handshake, which is native in this browser. To some degree, we'd like to improve it. But what I'll demo first for all the HNS and Handshake passionate people here is we use a resolver. I'd love to get Sane or Dane in there. It's definitely an experimental thing we'd love to explore when we've got the time and resources, but we're a pretty lean team. But you can an HNS domain with a /, and it will resolve for you right in here. Got to give a shout out to Alex, Rithvik, and Nathan, but I know Nathan's HNS by heart, so I'm going to show you this one too. This will resolve to his site. I love his little preview. It loaded the first time. It shows a little like command line thing coming up. So shout out to Nathan. We've integrated this. This has been in the browser for like the last year. Sadly, I want to be honest, haven't had time to like harden it and give it more options for resolving and build like the Let's Stain integration in there. But we want to do that. We want to explore that and improve it as well. If there's ways to on-road that with our extension as well. Now, this is all through the normal internet, what I'm showing. It's not masked, as you will, with the DVPN service we have. The other thing I want to show is we do have a dApp store where we're featuring decentralized projects that believe in this vision we share. You see Handshakes here. We're going to look at adding new apps. I want to connect with a lot of you guys and girls who've been guests here about things you're building and see if we can explore adding those. But we want to sort of curate that experience, right? Because that's what most of the demos have been during this event, was how have we built experiences within Handshake and the ecosystem? How can we offer these censorship-resistant products to the user? And from day one at Masq, I've always been a proponent that browsers are the window to these experiences. Everyone's got a phone with the browser in it. Everyone sits in front of a screen, sadly, most of the time these days. Get out and touch grass, everybody. But we all experience the digital world through browsers or different forms of browsers. So it's kind of on us, at least at Masq, is to make it easy by bringing that experience of privacy and decentralized browsing to you through your browser. So at first, we did it with this Masq browser. Now we're branching out to make it through an extension, which is the first of the integrations we'll try and do with all the mainstream browsers. But as much as we don't like Google, which I said, hey, thinking about them, we're building that into a Chrome extension, which we're about to release as well. For those who are fans of pre-search, they're a featured integration here in the browser as well. You can use pre-search to search uncensored and privacy-based searches where it's not going to affect your search experience or geo-block you or censor you based on where you live. There you go. There's the HandyCon Black video. So that's kind of where we're at with the browser. Again, what we want to release as well is just some enhancements when we've got the resources, which hopefully in next month or two, to look back into different ways we can integrate more of the HNS resolving and things like that. But we do have very soon a bookmark feature, which we feel has been something that is probably like, I would say it's a user friction point, right? Where you want to try a new browser, you want to kind of bring your bookmarks with you so you're already kind of set up with what you're using. We've got spaces in here, which is, you can set up a space for, say, finance, set up a space for games, and you can dock your favorite websites and stuff. But you want to bring in you probably want to bring in your bookmarks so you're comfortable with all your frequent sites. We're making an integration that you click a button to integrate it manually, or it'll pick up your default browser on your desktop, ask you, do you want to import which ones you want? You click them, boom, all your imports of bookmarks are ready to go. So we're really trying to push that forward. As well as that, we also know that using a lot of this fancy stuff for most users is kind of like overbearing, right? You want to make, I love this. I learned this from Alani, one of the guys who's amazing as an advisor. He's been in the space a long time. And I know I'm gutted. I missed his speaker spot yesterday. I was like a little too late coming back from another appointment. But he said, look, you got to lower the cognitive load when you're building a user app. And so we're trying to take away some of those typical Web3 user friction points to let them use the tech. And so what we've innovated is a Masq premium offering. We're trying to compete with the normal Web2, yucky Web2 VPN market which we know it's not all it's cut out to be, but how do they get to users? They make it easy to pay. So you pay for a monthly subscription with your credit card, or you buy an annual one up front and you get a discount. So we're trying to mimic that because that marketing pathway is very organic and it works. And we're adding a referral program into it. So if you refer people, you get a cut of the revenue throughout the use of that user and what they're paying. So it's going to, by design, we want it to be on chain. So there's no capturing of personal information. If I refer you, my wallet gets that cut of the revenue. So what this does is it also abstracts away the need for you to always buy and keep Masq. Like anyone who has Masq, we're on the cusp of mainnet. You can use Masq anytime, pay as you go, all the original design. But what this does, it gives a convenient way for people to just say, hey, I want to try it. I love the idea. I want to use it. I'm just going to pay a USDC per month. And we partnered with a integration that lets you do that on a recurring payment, which I think is probably one of the first daily sort of use case Web3 apps that I'm aware of that lets you do it like a month-to-month service, and you're paying strictly with crypto. All you need to sign up with is a wallet. It's pretty unique, and we think that's going to be the catalyst for our massive wave of user adoption. And that's also what people are used to when they're paying for their typical Web2 VPNs. So yeah, enough about the browser. I want to showcase the very first, let me try and share the screen again. The very first appearance of the Chrome extension. Now, okay, I don't want to jinx myself, but as you're doing live demos of apps, sometimes that is like in itself a bit of a trick. But I've loaded this just before the meeting. It all seemed to work. And I want to demo it today. So this is Chrome. I know, ick. I'm not using Masq browser at the moment or Brave. Like, shout out to them. They're OGs in the privacy browser space, and they've done some cool stuff. We're hoping, for all intent purposes, that this extension will also be compatible with Brave too. And again, shout out to them. They've built some stuff. This is also connected on the same machine. So I could essentially use the Masq browser, and I can use the at the same time. But I've got if I'm a Chrome user, I get to keep the convenience of my Chrome experience for using Masq. So I can use my extensions that I might still have. I can use any of my bookmarks, stuff like that. And let's unlock. Or it will be the curse of the demo. I just had this working. All right, I'm going to refresh this thing. I shouldn't have said anything, right? But yeah, we've got one more to harden it, and it's going to be live like ASAP. We've applied to the Chrome store. They've given a few things they want to review before it's listed. So we're going to give a community edition that anyone can try. You can just really load it into Chrome. But I want to show you a quick demo. Obviously, for all viewing purposes, it kind of looks like a normal browser experience right now. But what I'll show you is the onboarding. So if I've installed Masq browser already, there's not going to be extra steps. New user, it's going to ask me to onboard through a few things. Why is this so slow? Oh, I thought Chrome would be nice, but no. Okay, here we go. So it's going to pick up that I've already used Masq before, got my setup. And again, Masq is only requiring a wallet to sign up and create an account. You can hold tokens if you want, but here we go. Nice. So I'm in New Zealand, talking to you at like 11:30 on Friday. I'm in the future, and I can tell you that the weekend will be nice, and everyone here is having a great time. But now I've got Masq in Chrome, and I can go ahead and connect. Now I'm using the DVPN services of Masq. This is built on a peer network, similar to how a blockchain is secured, much like Handshake HNS. It's secured by nodes. So I'm going to connect, and my browsing is now going to through a decentralized network of nodes. Defaults to 3 hops, meaning it's untraceable. That's superior to Tor in the sense that the last hop is not unencrypted like Tor is. You could face other man-in-the-middle attacks and things like that, which I guess is by design. Don't ask me what 3-letter agencies run a lot of the Tor nodes. But anyway, I am now connected through a decentralized network of peers where it's anyone and everyone, but people in residential, running cloud nodes, whatever. I've got all my information here. And last ping, I'm now browsing through the Netherlands. So if I refresh this IP chicken site, not that I use this that much, but it's giving me a totally different IP from where I live. And I can browse pretty much with my VPN services turned on. Again, you can use it with Masq tokens, or you can get a premium subscription where it's taken care of for you. It's sort of airdropped every month. I think the reason it's laggy is I'm running too many things at one time on my laptop. But yeah, you've got you can see your balances, you can see your premium status, and then we want to support other blockchains in the future. Right now, we're mainly staged on Base, but we're also on Polygon. And with Mainnet Corner, all that's live. You can use it with any Masq tokens you have, or you can get a subscription. So yeah, that's pretty much what we've built and what we're excited to launch now with the extension. What I wanted to close out with and then take some questions is the reason browsing privacy is so important. As we all know, like the reason Handshake exists is we know that the domain space is sort of controlled by a centralized point, and you can be canceled pretty easily. Actually, you can be censored. You could have your service totally knocked offline if things aren't great with the people that view you in a certain way. And we also share a lot of our personal info and browsing habits through what we use, like whether it's a browser, which is doing analytics in the background that you're not sure of, platforms you log into that are taking your IP or where you live, maybe displaying different content because they don't want you to see certain things. And let's be fair, some of the corporations that I mentioned right at the beginning, they do this all the time, especially during election seasons or periods of civil unrest. They censor and block and do whatever. So Masq unlocks all of that, and it lets you protect your personal data and your browsing and your location and access anything freely. So the most important feature that we're excited to release very soon as well is the exit country selection, which most VPNs these days will offer. You can choose a country and browse from there. We're almost done with that. Now, again, with our type of system, it's quite a difficult thing to integrate because number one, you need it to be trustless, but you want to make sure that if someone's running a node and they say, hey, I'm here in the US, you can get US content, that it's verifiably true. Otherwise, not only are you wasting time trying to browse through them, the content won't actually be from them and it's not from that place. So it's not going to be a good experience. But we want to make sure that your personal data and the value you have online and your footprint, which is worth money. That's why all these companies operate with you as a product and don't make you pay, is you're the product and they're making money off you, right? Let's take that value back and keep it under you. In the network, you're incentivized. So if you run a Masq node and serve the network, you're actually getting paid by browsers using your services, and you're decentralizing your freedom where you live to places that need it. We're still offering services regularly through to Russian users trying to access X, Ukrainian users trying to access all sorts of places in that part of the world, Brazil, Turkey, you name it. Some of our biggest community bases are in those places, especially Turkey. We always give us shout outs because it's very hard for them to find these services. So what's on the roadmap for us is, we're going to have mainnet around the corner. We're getting the referral program finished for the Masq Premium offering. So that will be a pretty viral way of marketing. We know it works very well and it's very organic. We also want to look back at enhancing those other decentralized access features like HNS Dane. I know hearing Alex say, it might take a year to integrate into a browser. I was like, oh man, I was hoping it'd be less time, but I do want to connect with you and scope what that looks like and experiment with some of those things, as well as all our other current features. But yeah, that's pretty much what we built. It's been a while in the making, but happy to take questions or just feedback or anything that you guys want to know.
We do. So thank you. First of all, thank you very much. We do have a couple questions here. One of which is, how do you plan to balance and integrate the Handshake token and blockchain with the Masq token? Is there any way to mix them together? I feel like I know the answer, but maybe if you could elaborate on that, because the Handshake token is not the only blockchain and or token that the browser integrates with or talks to, I guess, right?
Yeah. Well, we don't have a node, HNS node services integrated in any way, which is probably the reason why the Dane integration aspect was not easily done. For token wise, our our protocol is based on the Masq token, but I don't see why we can't sort of broaden that and allow like maybe some way to exchange it atomically. Let's say you want to buy a subscription. We could somehow make it where you can use HNS tokens and then buy a subscription from Masq, or somehow, because we're EVM right now, it doesn't mean that our protocol is fairly chain agnostic. So in the future, we could actually integrate more natively with chains. How that would look, I'm not sure. Was there a proposal that I recall where you were thinking about other tokens on HNS, or is that just always going to be HNS?
Not that I can recall. Santiago? No.
No.
Maybe I was thinking of something else.
Yeah, one native token.
Or like a layer 2. Like if there's some way to do atomic swaps, then that's totally feasible. But we do want to like broaden that. I mean, to answer the question directly, we probably can't. We don't have short-term plans to do that like natively, but there are ways to do it. I think the challenge would be, it's two blockchains trying to communicate for different ways and different reasons. But if we can broaden the user services part to offer that, that would be a very good way to do it.
Okay, and I do apologize. In terms of a token, there's wrapped HNS, which would be HNS on Ethereum name basis.
Oh yeah, no, that's a good point. Yeah, let me write that down. I forgot about that. Cool.
Kari,
Yeah,
so I have a question on the marketplace that I think last year you talked about. You had the idea of potentially having, for example, Bob Wallet or different kind of Handshake products as part of the marketplace. How is that roadmap coming for the integration of the marketplace with Handshake?
Were you able to hear that, Corey?
I don't think.
Yeah, sorry, my computer's being out, so didn't let me unmute. I'm on the screen here. So yeah, with the marketplace, we can curate this. So like we've actually hosted this on a public repo. We haven't promoted it yet because we want to kind of get a little more community involvement, but in like a more decentralized way. People could vote it, I guess. But some of the things that you might want to see in here, just let's chat after HandyCon, because we can feature apps in here, especially if they are all about what we're talking about, aligning people with the right market ecosystem app you have, or things.
So like Bob Wallet or something, Handshake here that we could.
I actually have an unfinished thing I was going to play with, was seeing if I can Bob Wallet to work in the browser, because being like a different form of browser, like some extensions play nice and some don't. But if we could get Bob Wallet to work, that would be pretty cool. I haven't tried in a while. We still got Rithvik in the crowd. Is he here today? I don't see him.
Not at this moment. I think I may have seen him a little bit earlier, but I don't see him right here. No.
He's still around. I mean, I think he's given a talk on day 3, so he should be.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm gonna try and make that one. Yeah. No, we've got a lot we've been cooking, and always have parts for HNS and Handshake, because you guys have always supported us and been awesome. And of course, we wanted to always support you guys. And yeah, had access to the users, right?
Yeah, well, we really appreciate it, and thank you for the chat. Everybody who hasn't downloaded Masq, I'm sure will, and hopefully we'll get you to connect with Rithvik in one of the tables afterwards. Which, just a reminder to everybody, it's a great way to network here, is with those tables. Let's see if we're missing any questions. All right. Well, the Rithvik talk is later today, so just stand by for a little bit. Yep. All right.
There we go. Nice. Well, great. Well, thanks again, man. I appreciate your time. Thanks to everyone for watching. Yeah. And if you want to chat, head into our Discord. It's just discord.gg/, ask any questions. Just say you're from Handshake. Everyone will treat you with a lot of love and respect anytime. So just let us know.
This event wouldn't be possible without our amazing sponsors. Our bronze sponsors, D-Web Foundation, .x, our community sponsors, Handshake Australia, Namebase, Decentralizers, HMS,